I'm gonna do a hot take here and say that I think he's gonna be the leader of the franchise for this next upcoming decade, and I think it's a pretty valid take if you think about it. So the Denver Nuggets Cinderella run officially came to an end Saturday night. The comeback kids couldn't overcome the king himself, LeBron James. And I just cringe myself saying that because there's a running joke between me and my dad that I correct him whenever he calls LeBron the king or King James because he's a huge LeBron fan. For any LeBron stands out there, if you want to hear me praise your self-proclaimed king, watch my last video, which was a reaction to Game 5 from Saturday night. Anyway, back to the Nuggets. Obviously, they massively overachieved by overcoming a 3-1 deficit in back-to-back series, which included an upset of the Los Angeles Clippers along the way. But they couldn't do the same against the best team in the West. Now that their season is officially over, here's their off-season shopping list. What's up, guys? It's John, aka Dynamite, and we are back with my series called the Off-Season Shopping List. For those that may be new, this is a segment where I break down 5 things your favorite team must prioritize over the off-season from least important to most important. You guys have been killing it for the first 2 installments of this series. Obviously, the premiere video on the Toronto Raptors blew up, but the Houston Rockets video has done pretty well too. As of the recording of this video, it has 67 views, so I appreciate it, and let's keep it going with the Nuggets. But before we get to my actual list, here's a quick season review on the Nuggets themselves. The Nuggets finished with a 46-27 record, 3rd place in the Western Conference, and the Northwest Division champions for the 2nd straight year. They overcame 3-1 series deficits in back-to-back rounds. In the first round against the Utah Jazz and the semifinals against the Clippers, but couldn't conjure up the same comeback kids magic over the number 1 seed in the West, the Lakers. Now, onto my list. Number 5, trade Gary Harris. And yes, I'm being serious about that. Look, I know Nuggets fans might disagree with me on this, but to be honest, Harris is kind of overrated. Yes, he's an amazing wing defender and decent shooter, but we gotta address the elephant in the room. He's injury prone. Like, I don't know what you guys consider a healthy season for a player, but for me, the ideal number of games I'd want my main guys to play for me to consider their season healthy is between 65 and 70. So, based on my standards, Harris has only played 2 healthy seasons in 6 years. And as you can see, he had the best year of his career in one of his healthy seasons. 17.5 points per game, and he shot 39.6% from long range. But his numbers have dipped the past couple of years, and this season was his worst since his rookie year. He even missed the entire seeding round in the bubble and the first 5 games of the first round against the Jazz. If he was healthy for the entire series, he could have helped slow down Donovan Mitchell. And that's the thing. Nuggets fans, be honest with me, comment down below in this video. Are you willing to pay $39 million over the next 2 seasons to your second best perimeter defender if you know he's going to miss around 20 games every season and only average 7 points per game in the playoffs like he did this year? Now, hopefully he does bounce back if the Nuggets decide to keep him, which I think they will. But just keep this in mind going forward. Number 4, 3, and 2. Gotcha, guys. Sign Bobo, Jeremy Grant, and Monte Morris to contract extensions. Now, in Bobo's case, it's to sign him to an actual contract because he's technically on a 2-way contract, and I'm 99.9% sure this will happen because of how great he was during his limited playing time in the bubble. In fact, I expect him to start next year because Paul Millsap and Mason Plumlee's contracts are off the books, and there's no way in hell the Nuggets are bringing either of them back. And even if they want to, they're already committed to $107 million for next season. But trust me when I tell you, they need to break the bank for Grant. Assuming he builds off his bubble performance, Grant will be one of the most coveted free agents and will already be a stacked 2021 class. I expect him to opt into his player option for next season, which is $9 million, but the Nuggets need to sign him to an extension, whether it's now or next offseason. And finally, I like Monte Morris off the bench for this team. He does his job as point guard and was even in the closing lineup a few times in the playoffs, including this past series against the Lakers. Now, his $1.6 million for next season isn't guaranteed, so I'm assuming he needs to hit some incentives, but I think he will because of his ball performance, and he'll be rewarded with a nice contract, hopefully sometime soon. And finally, number one, do not re-sign Paul Millsap and Mason Plumlee. Okay, so I'm going to be completely honest and admit that I had no idea Paul Millsap made $30.5 million and Plumlee made $14 million this season. But I don't think I really need to go into much detail and explain why the Nuggets shouldn't re-sign either of these two guys. Now, the Nuggets can replace these guys in free agency with cheaper and, in my opinion, better options, or they can go ahead and get a third option, whether it's a scorer that they can sign for cheap off the bench, or again, like I said, a backup guy. So my list of guys that I think Nuggets should target this offseason in terms of free agency is Jabari Parker, Bobby Portis, Marcus Morris, Markieff Morris, Aaron Baines, Danilo Gallinari, and Dion Waiters. So yeah, that's it. Let me know what you guys think of this list. Remember to leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.